welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. My name is Troy, and today, Jags, yes, Jags. So I've been off Jags for a very long time, at least, I don't know, 6 months. Is that a long time? I would say it's a pretty long time for me. I swore off Jags. I sold my green 03 XJR and said, it's just not worth it. It's just too much of a pain in the butt. Too many little things to go wrong. The cars are all mechanically totaled, and I haven't tried to drive any. Haven't looked at them for a while until this showed up. Now, there's always an exception to the rule, and this is an exception to the rule because this is an 04 X350, so the next gen of the X308, aluminum bodied green XJR, short wheelbase with the right wheels, the right color, and the right amount of suspension sag to ensure that it was cheap, probably broken, and I love it. It just happens as this lovely XJ6 is right next to it as well, but that's not really here nor there. This is what we're here to talk about. This was an auction Rover Roulette, Jag Roulette special. Came out of probably a shady dealer from Florida, and it is perfect. I think with shipping and everything, it was right around $6,500. We actually bought it twice because the first time they wouldn't sell it to us after we bought it. They said it was, I think they sold it to somebody else and then didn't want to admit it. So this was the whole back and forth. So we ended up buying it twice. Sight unseen. I felt like it was quite a risky thought, just because I'm sure this car was sitting and whatnot. And it just showed up last night. I took some clips of it kind of turning in and getting dropped off. And again, it's as is. What you see is what you get. And you know, there's about these cars that make them, I guess, a little bit less risky and more usable than the X308. Primarily it's the powertrain. What's under the hood here? So let's jump in and just pop that buddy for us, and we'll see what I'm talking about. Leaper on and everything. So this 4.2 supercharged Jag, obviously V8, is the same V8 configuration and 6-speed transmission that I have in my L322 08 supercharged. And again, this engine and the 4.4 Jag V8, very reliable, very robust. Not a whole lot to really goes wrong besides the hoses under the supercharger and, you know, obviously older, higher mileage things. So that made me feel pretty good about this it doesn't have slip liners. It doesn't have timing chain issues if it's maintained like the older Jag V8. So of all the things this car can have wrong with it, I know the powertrain should be healthy. Now, something that's not so healthy is the air suspension on this Jag. There was a suspension fault. You can kind of see in the pictures. It didn't really mention that in the ad, but I knew it was going to have it. Now, it's not the end of the world. You can put coils on it. We can even diag and figure out what the issue is, but it is kind of a bummer that it's one of the first things that needs to be addressed because there's no check engine light and it starts right up. But my God, does it look good slammed. I mean, I hate the fact that this is kind of exactly what I'd want it to look like. I'm not even a lowered car guy, but it's got the look. So again, this was sight unseen. Let's get into the cosmetics. What did we get for the money? Again, this was already sold to a friend of ours. He couldn't resist the appeal of the green Jag, and I don't blame him, you know. It's got the right wheels. I don't know what they're called. I don't know if they're actual two-piece or two-piece. It looks like it has new brakes on it. Those discs and those big Brembos look awesome, front and back. And honestly, the paint seems to be, it's dirty. It just got off the truck. In pretty good condition. You've got a little scuff and scrape here, but again, you don't want this car to be perfect because it is a cheap, fast saloon car. Like, this is not going to be your primary, this is my car, this is what I put all my passion and money and effort into. This is a daily. You take this, you fix the suspension, you just drive it because that's what it was meant for, and that's what makes it fun and interesting. But again, coming around the back, you have some curb rash here. You got these deep scratches. Not sure where they came from. I don't know if someone's trying to clear some snow off it or something like that at some point. It seems like one of those type issues, but again, not the end of the world. The paint itself seems to be in pretty good condition overall. And actually, I don't really even see, I mean, there's some bumps and bruises, but no really dents or anything along the side. I think it's a 3-owner car. Somebody obviously liked it at some point. Jumping to the back, probably have a little spillage of something. Again, it needs to be washed. The headliner is slightly saggy. All Jags of this and the previous year have a bit of a sag to it. Biscuit-ish interior heated rear seats. It's a short wheelbase too, which I like. I think the longer wheelbase of these cars throws off the whole profile. Has these old Michelin, oh geez, I didn't see that. Okay, these old Michelin Pilot Super Sports, not even 4Ss, they're Pilot Super Sports, which they don't even make anymore, from 2016, probably the last time this thing had an oil change. But let's jump inside. We have the trifecta here. We've got Sprite, we've got Marlboros, and we've got water. What else do you need in to keep yourself going during the day? Now let's see what this thing, how she starts up. 133,000 miles, so that's not bad. Fires right up. And I saw, this might have adaptive cruise because I saw that light up for the adaptive cruise. Nice in here. Now I don't know if this has like a heated steering wheel anywhere, but here you go. Forward alert. This is much more of a usable application of a Grand Tour car than the XJ308 XJR. I actually have headroom. I have foot room. I'm 6'2". I don't feel like I'm super cramped and sitting on the ground like I did in the X308. Again, that's personal preference. Those cars just have very cramped, small interiors. This one feels substantial. I don't know if I could sit behind myself, but I don't care because I kind of consider this a personal saloon car. Got the AC on. That's working. It's running fine. Again, it's just a bit dirty, but I don't see any major faults on at least the inside. It's just dirty. It just needs to be cleaned up, which is exactly what we want to see. So if the suspension is the worst of the issues here, we're doing pretty good, because I started looking for one for myself and I can't find anything in this price range. So I do want to drive it. I probably won't drive it, maybe drive a little bit later, just because the suspension is, I think it was a little lower than it is last night. I don't know if it's going to air itself back up. I can hear a compressor. I can hear some cycles going on, but I'm not sure if it's really doing anything. Again, it's not really my car, so I don't want to go too wild with it, but I'm sure Pete won't mind. But man, what a presence this thing has to kind of just jump in and just waft over to work a few days a week. It's also big. It's a lot bigger, I think, longer, fatter than the X308 XJR. And again, that's kind of what I'm using as the baseline here, as my comparison, but definitely a much longer wheelbase. So probably rides a little bit nicer. And even though these tires are shot, they probably give it decent grip. So all I do is move around the parking lot here, and it was interesting to feel the fact that this thing, even though it has the same engine as my L322, that all-wheel drive heavy setup, that, you know, the mating of that engine with that body and the all-wheel drive system really zaps the responsiveness from that engine. That engine in this car, whew, I'm surprised. Yeah, it feels like a 4.2 400 horsepower supercharged car, and that's good. So we're gonna let this hang out for a little bit. Like it's wounded. The Jag is wounded. It's pretty, but it is a bit wounded, so it's gonna need a little bit of love, and we're gonna try to bring her back around and probably check it out a little bit later. But now I'm in the spare L322 5-liter that we have. It's always good to have a potentially broken 5-liter sitting around. That's nice, and actually runs well for potential issues that it might have. But yeah, there wasn't the intention to drop the X5 off today. I started leaking coolant from one of the new thermostats. I don't know if it's a faulty part or a bad gasket, so that's kind of why we had to go up to the shop again this morning. And lo and behold, the Jag is something to check out as well. But man, that X5, I have never gotten my ass kicked so bad by a car before, and I know there's a lot of people that gave me some I told you so's, but I think it's just this one that I bought. I've spent more time working on this car, which is my wife's car. It's not my car. It's not the car that I want to work on or gives me any type of satisfaction. I just want it to run so she can drive it around normally. And it's not doing that. So I've never taken this big of an L, I guess. And it, you know, granted, I did get it under market value, and it is fine to drive. It still needs a lot more things. So I think that's just kind of the reality of the market these days. Modern, older, used cars. They're just hard to work on. They're hard to deal with. They're hard to diag. It just takes more time, money, and effort, and it really takes it out of you. Good evening. You join me again in the Jag, this time armed with an Altel machine. And we are going to quit out of whatever was in here before and see what's going on with the Jag. Oh, look at that. Nice little display there. Very comforting and warm in the Jag. All right, here we go. Okay, all right, that's not what I care about. Hurry up, hurry up. Oh, list, there you go. Cool, all right, let's see what this thing's doing. It's twitching, it's freaking out. Doesn't like going to the doctor. This thing probably hasn't been to the doctor in a little bit. Air suspension, that's the big one. I'm interested to see if we can do that. Maybe run some tests on the compressor and stuff, see if we can get it to do something. All right, leveling implausible. ECM, flight recorded data is stored, instrument cluster pack. All right, normal stuff. Probably low battery, transmission control. That's all fine. Let's see if we can get something for this air suspension deal. Pair assist. ZF6? Sure. Why not? Market specific. I don't know why this has to do. Mechanic or pneumatic faults such as air leakage or pipe disconnected. Oh boy. Well, let's just clear that then. All right, everything's cleared. I don't think this is going to do anything, but we'll start it up and see if what happens. Hear a pump. And no discerning change in level. Maybe we can hear where it's coming from. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear it on this side. If I'm a rover guy, I know what that whistling sound is. I just can't tell if it's coming up. All right, let's check her out on the underside. Little ball joint, little this, little that. That looks like an original air strut. Frame rails, everything look okay. Control arms actually look okay too. No major rust or anything, which is nice. Just, older suspension bits and bobs, and engine looks dry. Can't really get the camera in there, but transmission pan, everything looks nice and dry. Which is good. Again, if you're gonna do something with a car like this, it has to have at least good bones. Diff also nice and dry, not rusty. A little bit of light surface rust. These brakes don't look terrible either. Just yeah, some control arm deals. Gibo's okay. It's not even control arms. That's just your whatever. Oh man, yeah, suspension-y bits. But other than that, looks okay. That's fine. Nothing to see there. So again, this Jag, I think it was like $6,500 after fees and shipping and all that fun stuff. So what do you think? Do you think that's worth the money, worth the deal? 135,000 miles. Needs a few odds and ends, has a few cosmetic challenges, but overall presents fairly well for what it is. Engine seems healthy, just needs to be kind of cleaned up. Again, this is something that you take on yourself, right? None of this stuff is completely terminal or completely, the frame's not compromised or anything like that. It's kind of stuff you can tinker and play with and kind of bring her back around. Is that the best way to buy cars or do things? That's up to you. Just depends on what kind of car guy you are. So far, just a semi-honest used car. Could be worse. Meanwhile, this turd over here, man, oh man, my one of my plastic coolant hoses has sprung a big old leak, which requires the intake to come off. So all right, so that's gonna finish up the Jag video. Still needs a little bit more Diag. I think there's a ride height sensor that might be out, so we'll probably see it again once it is fixed and up and going. We'll take it for a spin and all that. The owner is going to be selling, I think this is 1990 or 2001 BMW E38 750 Li Sport V12. So if you're interested in that, 215,000 miles, looking for $5,500, let me know in the comments. Check it out. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. How you doing, buddy? I don't know.